Hello, guys and gals. This is Willow Plays Whatevs here, and I am going to do something new. This is not gonna be the same old that I always do. What time is it? 10. Okay. I'm going to do something new for y'all. I've been watching how should I say, what if YouTubers been doing this lately? And I found it interesting. Though I thought to myself that I wouldn't do it. But I thought lately I've been getting into TikTok and I've been watching how should I say, villain Deku TikToks. And I just say I found a person on YouTube. They did some TikToks together. And that inspired me to make this. This is pretty much a spur on the moment. And I thought I really wanted to make a regular villain Deku with regular villain Toga. But the story is going to be of my own. It's not going to I'm going to say follow canon per se. It kind of does, but at the same time it doesn't. This is a whole new thing, pretty much. So yeah, let's get into it. A few months before canon, I'm going to say that Toga and Dobby joined before canon started, just a few months before. I just need to say that to clarify everything, okay? And Izuku is the same person you see in canon, but there's some slight differences. He really, yeah, he is kind of different, personality-wise. His beliefs and everything are the same. He wants to be just like All Might, though I wouldn't say he wants to be just like All Might, but he really wants to be like All Might a lot. As All Might, no, my bad. All Might really inspires him. And during the years of bullying, whenever he was a child, he adored All Might, but with the years of bullying, he started to not like All Might as much as he did before, but he still idolized him. He still did, but he just wasn't that much of a fanboy as he is in canon. As he still wants to save people with a small in his face, but not as much as before. So yeah, my bad, fuck. But yeah, as we go to one of the last days of middle school, and Bakugo is bullying Izuku once again. As after this round of being bullied, being pushed around, and pretty much beaten, Izuku's just lying on the ground, just looking at the sky with dead eyes, pretty much, as he's swaying in and out of consciousness, mostly because of Bakugo with his explosions. As Bakugo leaves, as he says, "Huh, fucking nerd." As he walks off with his posse, as they all laugh after pretty much pummeling Deku or Izuku to the ground. And they weren't in school premises when that happened. This was after school. Yeah, this was after school. As he's just in an alleyway, just laying, all bloodied as all hell. As you see, who should be the one that's walking by? Who should it be? Who should it be? Let me think on that real quick. As I'm going to say that it is Toga that's walking by, or might I say skipping by. As she's just skipping and whistling, just humming to herself pretty much. As once she passes by, something caught her eye inside the alleyway. As she passed the alleyway, as she walked back to the entrance of the alleyway, as she wants to see what's the thing that caught her eye in the alleyway. As she walks into it, as she sees a figure on the ground. As she walks closer to the figure just laying on the ground, as she sees the blood, she thinks that the person might be dead. As she just shrugs, but she walks closer and she sees the boy, the messy green hair, the bloody face, bloody clothing on him. As she just sees Izuku. As she doesn't know, but she wants to help him for some reason. She honestly doesn't know why, but she wants to help him. As she picks Izuku's upper body to a sitting position, as she drags him to the side of the alleyway where he's just laying right now. He's laying next to one of the buildings pretty much. As she tears some of his clothing off, some of his sleeves, his long sleeves, so she can patch him up a little bit and clean him. As she doesn't have anything that would be helpful to clean him off. So she tore some of his clothes. She didn't want to tear her own because she looks fabulous right now. She doesn't want to tear her expensive clothing. She's not in her villain outfit or her schoolgirl outfit right now. As she kind of slaps him just a little bit. It doesn't hurt. Just slaps him. You know that type of anime slap where you're slapping someone awake. She's showing that to Izuku as Izuku is just flaying in and out of consciousness as he sees the person in front of him, or he sees a person in front of him. As he kind of jumps and he's looking around as he asks, well, where am I? What happened? As Toga calms him down as she says, I don't know what happened, but you are in this part of the city, yada yada yada, and you are in an alleyway. As he thinks, as he remembers, he got beaten up once again by Bakugo and his posse. As he sighs, as she asks, do you remember what happened to you? As Izuku would just stay quiet. As he says, I don't want to talk about it. Sorry about that. I had to stretch. But yeah. Dallas? Dallas? Just lay down. Just lay down. Don't make my bed a mess. But sorry for that interruption and that pause. But yeah, as Izuku just looks at her, as he looks at the torn up clothing. Yeah, he just looks at his torn up clothing and asks, why is my clothes torn up? I know they were torn up before, but not this torn up, he asked. As Toga says, sorry about that. I had to tear your clothing up so I could patch you up and clean off the blood off of your face and all that. As Izuku just looks at her and he says, thank you. As he shows her that sweet broccoli smile that he always gives off. But this one's not as bright as you would see in canon. But it is still pretty bright. As the years of bullying has chipped away at him, little by little. His mentality is not as strong as in canon. Now, he gets up right now as he says, thank you, miss. What's your name? As she says, oh, I'm sorry. You can call me Himiko Toga. As she says with a big smile. As he says, thank you, Himiko. Or Toga, which one would you like me to say? As he says, Himiko is fine. I don't mind that. As he says, okay, Himiko. Thank you very much for patching me up. As he wouldn't be as flustered as he is in canon by calling a girl by her first name. As he doesn't really care about first and last name basis. He won't get flustered over it anymore. Or not really anymore, but in this timeline. As she asks, what is your name? As he says, my name is Izuku Midoriya. You can call me Izu or Izuku. I honestly don't care. You can even call me Midoriya. Whatever you prefer. As Toga smiles as he just said, okay, Izu. As he smiled a little bit as he said, okay. As he says, thank you for helping me, but I need to go somewhere. I need to go home. As Toga nodded as he says, no problem, I gotta go too. I need to get home. As she mutters under her breath, Shigaraki might be pissed at me that I'm late. As Izuku asks, do you say something? As she says no. I just said something under my breath. Don't worry about it. As Izuku just nodded as he walked away. As Toga walked away as well. As we skip a few we skip a few days. And it is the end of the school year. And the same, mostly the same thing kind of happens as in canon, but Izuku is not as rigid as he would be in canon. As you see Izuku raise his hand in the classroom and act the way, no, Izuku doesn't act like that. As he just sits back on his chair, not really caring what the teacher says. That's his mentality. As the years of bullying loosen him up a little bit. As he honestly doesn't care what people think of him anymore. As there's a few things that change. After the how should I say? Encounter with Toga. Something in him kind of, how would I say, changed. Even Izuku didn't know this, but he's not as rigid as he would be anymore, like I just said. That encounter kind of changed him. Even though it was a small encounter, it changed him nonetheless. Having someone help him because of Bakugo bullying him and pummeling him into the ground really gave him a wake-up call to what type of person Bakugo really is. As no one really ever helped him whenever he got bullied by Bakugo. As that was the first person that ever really helped him. As he thinks. So there is still people like that. I almost lost hope that there are people kind like that. That just means that I have to save people like that from villains. That girl, she's nice. As he thinks to himself. In class. As the teacher walks in. As Izuku is just leaning in his chair, just not really caring. As the teacher says his same spiel, who wants to be heroes? As Izuku doesn't raise his hand like he did in canon. As you just see Izuku now, just leaning in his chair, just raising his hand, casually, not really caring. As same thing happens in canon, everyone laughs at him, and Bakugo does the same thing in canon. That does the same speech saying, "Oh, yada 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 yada, I'm better than you, yada yada." You know, the same old shit. As Izuku just chuckles. You want to be a hero? Really? You act more like a villain than a hero, Kachan. He casually says, as he has eyes that honestly doesn't give two shits anymore. As his eyes doesn't shine as much. But they still shine nonetheless. As he says this coolly, you act like an angry Pomeranian 24/7. And with anger issues like yours, I would be surprised if a UA will even let you in. Calling yourself the best because of your quirk. If a school lets you in just because of your quirk, I honestly would not want to go to that school. He says. but he still wants to go to UA. So he just shuts up after that. And yada yada yada. We move on to the, how would I say, the sludge villain incident. Yeah, the sludge villain incident. As Izuku just walking under that underpass pretty much, and the villain pops out of the sewers like he did in canon, as he says, "Damn it, I didn't know he would be here." As he sees Izuku, as he chuckles a little bit as he says, "Kid, I need your body. I didn't know that he was here." As that caught Izuku off guard a little bit, as he went full force, as he pretty much flew at himself at Izuku, as Izuku didn't have enough time to fight back, as Izuku's already inside the slime by now. The same thing happens as in canon, but Izuku doesn't have that little space like he does it inside his head. As he says this instead, as he struggles, as he thinks, so this is how it ends. A quirkless loser like me just dying like this inside of a sludge. How pathetic. As he stops struggling, as he thinks, I'll just let my suffering ease a little bit. If I'm gonna die like this, might as well make it as painless as possible. As he stops struggling, as Izuku is fading in and out, as Izuku thinks this road's real cruel. Why would it even give birth to me if it was this cruel to me and let me die this early? As he's fading in and out consciousness right now, as you would see a figure pop out of the other side of the pretty much bridge, as you see All Might say, "I am here," as he sees his sludge villain, as he says, "I'm pretty sure the smash that he did was a Texas smash whenever he did the whenever he hit the sludge villain at the first time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did a Texas smash." As he says, "Texas smash," as Izuku was pretty much almost passed out, but as the smash happened, Izuku sees All Might, and Izuku's eyes light up a little bit, more than they usually are, as he has a smile on his face, as you will see the same thing happen in canon. All Might giving his autograph and then leaving, but Izuku being on his leg. As we do the same thing on the rooftop, but Izuku isn't as the same, as he asked casually, "All Might, can I still," no, not really as he is in canon, he won't be as emotional as he is in canon while asking that question. He would ask All Might, can I still be a hero, even if I'm quirkless? As All Might does the same thing and says, no, you can't be a hero, kid. You would only get in the way. You would be a hindrance. But you can still try and be, how would I say, a policeman, a firefighter, something of the likes. Be realistic, kid. As that broke Izuku a little bit. As you see tears stream out of Izuku's eyes. As he's just staring at All Might, just not really crying or weeping, but tears are just streaming down his face. As before All Might left, he left himself before All Might did. As he didn't run, he just casually just walked off while tears are streaming down his face. As he's cold all over. He is cold. He doesn't know what to feel anymore. He just got told by his idol that he can't be a hero. As a few things changed in this what if. Izuku doesn't, how would I say? No, All Might doesn't lose the sludge building, even after Izuku holding on to his pants, and the villain didn't slip out. So All Might, Izuku and Bakugo didn't have that encounter like they would have in canon. So Izuku just casually just walks in his house, slamming the front door closed, and I have to say, Ingo is not alive. Once Izuku entered the second year of middle school, Ingo died by cancer. Yeah, she died by cancer. As that hit Izuku hard, like real hard. And that is one of the main reasons why Izuku isn't as bright as he is in canon. That hit him hard as it would hit someone. And that started to chip away at him, him being bullied by Bakugo. He didn't have the comfort of his mother. That's why he was slowly getting riddled down, chipped away at, or getting bullied. So yeah, as he just walked into his house, or the apartment that him and his mother lived in, now it's just him himself, being independent, having to be independent, and cooking for himself, cleaning for himself, doing everything for himself. As Izuku just looks at the dark apartment, as the apartment is just dead inside. It has no life to it. As he gets flashbacks to his mother, whenever she was alive. Every time he will come to this apartment was so full of light and so colorful. It always smelled good because of his mom's cooking. She was always cooking something different, trying new things, always cleaning the place, always having time for him, even though she was working. Whenever he came back home from school, she would always Always have time for them. As he just started having flashbacks of the past. Just his loving mother, her smile, always gave him warmth. But he started thinking of the cancer. Inko losing her hair. Inko being in the hospital bed telling him to be strong. He can be a hero. Just save people the best he can. And have a smile on your face, baby. As she kissed him on the forehead. As she lay back on her bed. As she smiled weakly at him. As she died in the hospital bed. As Inko saying that is the only reason why Izuku still wants to be a hero and save people. As he walks to his room, changing into something more comfortable, and walking to the kitchen, fixing something that he already fixed the night before, some leftovers. As his cooking isn't as good as his mom's, but it does the trick. As after him fixing the food and eating, he walks back to his room and thinks, I'm still gonna go to UA. I don't care what Kachan says. I'm doing this for my mother and for the good civilians. As he gets a flashback of Toga helping him up. As he smiled a little bit. As he says, yes, for those good civilians. As he closed his eyes and went to sleep. Now we skip to the 10 months. And these 10 months, Izuku changed himself. He started to work out. He went to, how would I say? During those 10 months, he got the money that his mother left for him. Just a little bit of money, not all of it. Of course, he's using the money very wisely. But he bought, how would I say, lessons for himself to be in boxing. He started boxing lessons, taekwondo, gymnastics. He things like that. He would train himself very diligently, non-stop. He kept breaking his body and building it up throughout those 10 months of training. Not bad. But yeah, as he learned a lot of martial arts and gymnastics, as he's very flexible. He is. He learned a lot on the gymnastics part, as he really likes gymnastics. He finds it very fascinating, as he likes boxing as well, as he is really good at boxing, as he does a few things here and there, as he has that how would I say, he's starting to get muscles, he's starting to get a six-pack, as that would take he would have that, how would I say, that swimmer's build, yeah, that swimmer's build. He would have a lean swimmer's build, as he would do anything during these 6 months, even swimming, to train his body even more, even fun things that you would not consider training, but he used things like that as training for his body. And swimming is one of those things. As all those lessons and training in the gym during those 10 months of non-stop training and doing all that paid off real well, as he knows a lot of techniques of tight I can't say the freaking name correctly. I'm not gonna say. I'm just gonna say freaking karate per se. Boxing, karate and boxing, and a few other things. Like I said earlier, as let me think on this. And during those 10 months, he wasn't only training his body. He started to train himself in a few weapons, per se. Let's say. Yeah, some weapons. As he started training himself in the art of knives. As he is very proficient in bladed weapons. As he really loves combat knives. And different types of knives he is really into. As in these 10 months, he started training on the knives on the first month of training. As he started to have a fascination with knives. As he started to get a collection of them. He really loved knives. He doesn't know why, but he really loved them a lot. As he would not only train in multiple martial arts, knives, and training his body, but he also learned movement. He was learning on his movements. He started to learn parkour, as he knew this would help a lot, and he means a lot in combat and fighting with villains. Just moving around like that would be very helpful. He saw this on the 3rd month, as he was on the internet in his apartment, just looking at things for movement, as he thinks, what would help me in my movements, help me move around faster, more agile, more flexible. As he saw a video on TikTok. Out of all the things, he saw something on TikTok. Someone parkouring to music. as he thinks that's perfect. Yes, that is actually perfect. As he started to train in parkour, as he liked it very much. It helped him a lot. Though it took him a while to couple months to get it right. He would always hurt himself, not getting it right, always falling, and not being able to make a jump. But then he started to start getting it, and yeah, as after that 10 months, his body was, how would I say, great. It was that lean swimmer's body. He was good. He was set. As you would see Izuku walk into UA. It is that day of the entrance exam. As he walks in, as he doesn't trip like he would in canon. Because, yeah, he just wouldn't trip. But yeah, as he walks in, he doesn't have that encounter with Uraka. And in this movie, Uraka is lesbian. Her and Asui, or yeah, Asui, is a thing. So yeah, I honestly don't like Uraka any other way. I don't like her being straight because she always ends up being a freaking simp for Izuku. So I'm always going to have I would say yeah, I'm always going to have her as a lesbian and her being with Floppy. And I really like that ship. I really do. But with her, without that ship, I honestly don't like the character of Uraka. But being with Bobby, I really like the ship. And I love her character. So yeah. In my what ifs, I'm gonna always have Uraka be shipped with Asui or Fabi. So yeah. But yeah, as we get into the entrance exams, as we get into the written portion, as Izuku walks in to the classroom, as he sits down with the other people, as the test begins, as the teacher says, "Now start the test." As everyone looks down and they start their test. As in this what if, Izuku is pretty smart. But he kind of, because he was training his body so hard during those 10 months, he wasn't training his mind, but he is still pretty smart. So he would be at the top 10 in his class. Not top 5, but top 10. Because he wasn't learning or studying. Yeah, he wasn't studying. So he was top 10 instead of top 5. So, yeah. After the tests were done, he would end the test about a normal time. Yeah. And he wouldn't be as nervous as he is in yeah, he won't be as nervous as he is in canon. Because yeah, his personality is kind of shifted. as he relaxed. His mentality at this state right now is he thinks if I don't make it, I don't make it. That's his mentality. As after that, they get into the whole thing of President Mike's thing. As President Mike does his whole thing, talking about the robots, and of course, Tanya or Ida, being his stupid self, gets up from a seat, trying to call the President Mike out, saying, "I am very disappointed that you missed out on the zero pointer," and yada yada yada. He went to his old spiel, as he wouldn't call out Izuku, because Izuku isn't muttering. He isn't, you know, he just isn't muttering. So yeah, as Izuku would not even bother to call Ida out. He thinks Ida would take too much of his time, so he wouldn't even get into the argument with Ida. So he won't butt into other people's businesses. So he just leans in his chair as he is waiting for the presentation to be over. As President Mike said, I was about to talk about the zero pointer, though there's not really anything to talk about, and yada yada yada. As we skip, and Izuku would have the same hero costume as he would in canon, because there's no need to change that yet. As it's only his personality that's going to change, or is changed a little bit. He's still the same. As now we go to the actual exams. As Izuku is in the same exam with everyone else, even Uraka, but because he didn't meet Uraka before, and he's not worried about her. He's not really worried about any of them. He's worried about himself more because he is quirkless. As he has some holsters. But his custom is a little different. He does have a type of jacket covering his you know, how would I say, his costume. As his jacket doesn't have a hood, but it's one of those denim jackets type of thing. You would see how would I say, it's kind of that deal that you see, how would I say, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, wearing his jacket over his costume. That's kind of the deal that you see here. As Izuku has a jacket that he pretty much just wears, as he's wearing that over his costume. That is a place where he can put all of his knives in. So, yeah. He has all of his knives holstered in that jacket. So, yeah. And the jacket really complements the costume, might I say. So, yeah. It is a black jacket. So, now we get into the whole thing. As he didn't walk up to Uraka, so Ida didn't call out Izuku for it. But Izuku did see Ida stop somebody else that was gonna do it. As he thinks to himself, damn, that kid's a busybody. He's annoying. But he keeps that to himself. As now we get to you know, President Mike counting down and the doors opening. But you see Izuku rush into the right whenever the door opens. As Ida says, hey, that's cheating. As President Mike says, what are y'all doing just sitting there? Follow that kid's example. He has the right idea. As he says, go, 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 as everyone starts running. As by now, Izuku is already on his first robot. And I'm going to say this is a one-pointer. As he gets, he maneuvers around the robot. And he cuts the wires pretty much in the back of the robot. He opens a panel in back and he cuts the wires, pretty much turning the robot off. As he did it pretty swiftly. Now he goes to a few other robots. As now he goes to a few other robots, yes. As you will see go up to a few 2-pointers. He hasn't gone into any 3-pointers yet, but he's mainly focusing on 2 and 1-pointers. A few 3-pointers here and there, but he's mainly focusing on 1 and 2-pointers. As you will see him rack up enough points for him to get to Class 1A. As I think the best points you can really get is to get to 70 to 75 points. You will get to Class 1A. So he got around that much points. And might I say, he is still quirkless. He doesn't have no powers whatsoever. As he got that many points just by dodging, maneuvering around the robots, parkouring through different buildings to get to areas faster. And he is impressing a lot of the teachers, as a lot of them are impressed. As Aizawa asks, what is this kid's quirk? As Nezu looks at the files and he says, this kid is quirkless. As that surprised all of them. As Aizawa says, if this kid is quirkless and he got 70 points, then he needs to go to my class. I honestly don't care if he doesn't have a quirk. If he can get that many points and be quirkless and still be that skilled, yes, he deserves to be in Class 1A. As you see All Might walk in. No, he doesn't walk in. As you the camera pans to All Might. As he thinks, that kid looks familiar. I don't know. I'll keep an eye out on him. As now we skip to the 0-pointer. As the 0-pointer came out. As a lot of the kids are running. Izuku as well. Yeah, as yeah, Izuku as well. As he hears a scream. As he looks back and he sees Uraka pretty much trapped under the rubble. But he thinks to himself, yeah, I can't do anything for that girl. I can't. I'm quirkless. Yeah, that's not gonna do it for me. I'm out, chief. As he pretty much runs out. He doesn't run. As you see Baku, the one that actually pretty much saves Uraka. As Deku just runs off with the other kids. As there was nothing he could do. As yeah, we skip to when he gets the envelope, and yeah, 50 minutes. This is going too slow. Yeah, but I can make this a 2-hour thing. So yeah, as Izuku just, how would I say? As he gets a doorbell. The doorbell in the apartment just rings. As he gets up from the couch, as he was watching TV. As he gets up and he sees the mail. As he picks it up and closes the door, as he scans through the mail. Yada this, yada that, a lot of promotion. Ooh, there's a promo for Subway. That looks good. And he goes to another one as he sees UA. As he looks at it for a long second. As he walks to the couch, as he opens the envelope. As he takes the hologram out, as the hologram comes out and you see All Might. But Izuku kind of gets angry. Oh, looking at that face. As he gets flashbacks to All Might saying, you can't be a hero. As the hologram pretty much tells Izuku that he passed. And he's going to be in class 1A. And All Might saying, you are going to be the first quirkless kid to actually make it in class 1A. Congratulations. You are making history, young Midoriya. As Izuku kind of crushes the, the hologram. As he throws it in the trash. He throws it in the trash. With some other, of the, mail that he got. None of them were really important. But he saved a few because they were important. So yeah. As we should skip a few days. And by now Izuku has gotten his UI uniform. As you will see him dressed the way you will see him dressed in canon. But you would just see him have an uncaring attitude and smile here and there. As he walks into UA. Yeah. He doesn't trip like I said before. He doesn't trip again. He just walks into UA and walks throughout the halls trying to search for Class 1A. Class 1A, Class 1A, Class 1A. As after 5 to 10 minutes of searching, he finally found Class 1A. As he sees the door, as he thinks, damn, that is a huge door. As he just shrugs, as he opens the door and he sees the same scene in front of him of Bakugo and Ida. Pretty much Ida telling Bakugo yada yada, and Bakugo telling him the same thing that he does in canon. As Izuku is just looking at them like they are idiots, but he doesn't mind them. As Bakugo looks at him, as he says, "What the fuck are you doing here, nerd?" As Izuku just pretty much walks past him, just ignoring Bakugo completely. Pretty much walking towards a seat as he sits. As Bakugo says, "Well, what are you doing ignoring me, nerd? Don't ignore me." As he's popping his little freaking firecrackers out of his palms. As Izuku says, "What are you gonna do, Bakugo? Explode me yet again?" That really caused Bakugo to flinch a little bit. As Izuku says, "You're gonna do it here at the start of a new school. You really are pathetic." As more people start walking in. As Bakugo was about to say something, but you know, the caterpillar Aizawa came in, and that's how everything goes. Now, things are pretty much the same throughout the school year, or at least the beginning of it. As Aizawa pretty much the test. I'm gonna skip the test and tell you that Izuku didn't get top 10, but he did not fail. He was one of the last because he was quirkless, but he pretty much outdid quite a few people with quirks. But he wasn't too powerful, so he didn't make it to top 10 or top 5 per se. He wasn't last, like I said. Pretty much impressed Aizawa, because he sees a quirkless person pretty much outdo quite a few people with quirks, and that is pretty sad. But he sees potential in Izuku, a lot of it. As he is thinking of teaching Izuku personally his tricks and all that stuff. As he might ask him after class, as he might need a protege. As after the test, and pretty much Aizawa freaking telling how should I say, Mineta to book it, because before the test happened, Izuku yeah, he knocked the shit out of Mineta after learning that he was about to peep on the girls. And Jiro told the girls what Izuku did, and they were very grateful for Izuku. As Izuku just said, "You're welcome," as he just walked away after the girls thanked him. And yeah, after the test, Aizawa told him that he can teach him to be his protege. He needs not really a successor, but someone to him to teach his old tricks, like his scarf trick. He can teach him a lot of things. Him and Aizawa says, me and you are pretty similar. Though I do have a quirk and you don't. Mine is not an enhancement or any type of ability like that. I can only erase quirks with my eyes. That's the only thing I can really do. Everything else is me by myself. As Izuku just nodded as he says, "Yeah, Mr. Aizawa, you are a great hero, and I would love to be trained by you personally. That would be great. And I won't let you down," he said. As during that, Aizawa has been teaching Izuku personally his tricks and all that. As instead of how would I say, the scarf, Izuku has been using the same material on his scarf, but pretty much using wrapping his arms with the material and using that instead of the scarf. As he thinks the scarf would be too hot to wear, so he used wrappings around his arms and hands. So you see wrappings around his arms and hands all the time, as he uses that a lot. And they are made of the same material as our scarf. So yeah. As Izuku is starting to change his how should I say? Yeah, he's starting to change his fuck. I can't think of the name. Yeah, he started to change his costume a lot to fit the wrappings and all that. But he didn't know how to do that, so he thought he would think about it another time. He would change his costume another time. As I'm going to say that it is the USJ. Yes. It is the USJ right now. As and Izuku has been trained personally by Aizawa, like I said. He is very good at hand-to-hand combat, better than he was before. So yeah. And by now, and I do have to say that in the Heroes vs. Villains, Izuku's team won. I'm not going to get into it because I don't feel like doing the Heroes vs. Villains, so I'm skipping to the USJ. Get into the meat of this movie, which I'm supposed to be doing. So yeah. So we get into the USJ. And Izuku has his normal costume, as it's not as beat up as it would be in canon. So he didn't have to use the pretty much PE uniform. So he does have his costume, but it is tore up a little bit. Has little scrapes and a few tears, but not that bad. As everyone's all happy and cheery, as Izuku just sitting down, just calm, and just looking out the window, just waiting for everything to pass. And everyone does the same thing like they do in canon. And they finally get to the USJ. As the kids walk out of the bus, and they see Hero 13. As you know, Choco says, "Oh my God, you're 13. You're my favorite hero." As 13 says, "It's nice to see a fan." As they after that they get into the building. As there's a portal that is inside the building now. As villains start to come out of that portal. As you know, Kirishima does the same thing like he does in canon. It says, "Ooh, vague villains, cool." As looks at the portal, and he says, "That's not fake. They're real villains. Get back." As everyone was shocked, and they got back. As he as Awa tells 13 to protect the kids. As yeah, that's how that whole thing plays out. As that whole thing plays out with Bakugo, Kirishima, and Kirigiri, with all the kids being teleported. As instead of Izuku being teleported pretty much by Asui and Mineta, he is actually teleported by Bakugo. Yes. And Bakugo being extra mad at Izuku. Is very mad at Izuku that he got into UA and he is doing as well as he is right now. As Bakugo is very pissed, pretty much. As they see villains surrounding them. As Bakugo just is throwing his explosions at anywhere, every which way. He doesn't care if he hits friend or foe. As he is hitting every villain that he sees. As he is hitting very close to not Bakugo, friggin' Izuku. As Izuku says, "Calm the fuck down, angry Chihuahua. You almost fucking hit me." Which take Bakugo off. As he says, as he thinks, "Fucking nerd. He'll get what's coming to him. He'll get it. I just need to wait for the perfect moment." Yes, I have to wait for the perfect moment. As he laughs inside his head a little bit. As right now you see someone that is looking at Izuku and Bakugo fighting the villains. As they are pretty much in the shadows is watching. As she just looks at Izuku mostly. As she thinks, that's the boy that I saved that one day. As she gets a flashback on that. As she thinks he is pretty cute. As she thinks, I wonder how his blood tastes like. Is it as sweet as how he looks? She has a very crazy smile right now. As you see this girl right here. And which one is best? Yeah, this one right here. As she has a very crazy smile right now. As she thinks, I really wonder how he'll taste like. As she's excited. As she comes out of the shadows, and she sneaks behind she tries to sneak behind Izuku, but trying to stab his not really stab but slice his arm. As Izuku pretty much dodges right in time as he felt danger behind him. As he looked and he saw Toga with a knife in her villain costume. Yeah. As Izuku was shocked. As his eyes went wide. And his eyes started to glow a little bit. As yes, you're the girl that saved me. As she says, yes I am. And Izuku is looking around, looking at all the fighting. As he asks, what are you doing here? And Toga says, I am a villain. With a very cheery attitude. As she says, I wonder what your blood tastes like. She says with a very big smile. Or a very crazy smile that she has. Which shocked Izuku. As she says, I hope it's as sweet as how cute you look. As Izuku can tell, this girl is kind of off her rockers. But he doesn't really judge too much. As he says, I honestly am not in the mood with fighting you, girl. As she says, I honestly don't want to fight you too, but you're a hero and I'm a villain, so yeah. As Izuku just sighs as he says, fucking hell. Fine, as he freaking starts bringing out his knives, which intrigued Toga. As he smiles as he says, you like knives too? I like knives as well. As she has a few knives on her, as she says, I really love knives. As that really made Izuku chuckle. As he has never laughed in quite a while. He hasn't laughed since his mother died, to be honest. As that made him laugh a little bit. As he smiles. As he brought a couple knives as well. As he says, well, Himiko, this is gonna be fun. As he smiles. As they start pretty much getting into a fight. As they're slashing knife to knife. As you're hearing clanking sounds. Knife to knife, a few cuts and slashes here and there. But other than that, they're real good. As they're pretty even. They're pretty evenly matched. Izuku and Toga. As Toga says, this is real fun. As she gets a slash off of Izuku, and she immediately licks the blood off of the knife. As she says, your blood is sweet. I was right. She smiles as she continues to try to slash Izuku. As Izuku is having a lot of fun. As she is really loving the fight with Toga. Even though this is a fight, he's fighting villains. But with her, he really likes fighting her. She makes it exciting. As his blood is pumping, as every villain that's around them tries to attack Izuku while he's fighting them, but he always seems to pretty much knock them out. He wraps them around with his bandages. He wraps them around and ends up knocking them out and throwing them in the side, not caring if he hurts them. As she says, "Ooh, that's cool. You remind me of Eraserhead whenever he does that with his scarf." As he says, "Yeah, I wonder why." He says sarcastically, as the wrappings go back to his arms, as they wrap back around his arms, and he continues slashing and all that, as he is in the middle of a how would I say? Yeah, he is in the middle of a bunch of villains surrounding him and Toga, as Izuku's in the middle of the bunch, pretty much, as Bakugo thinks, chance, as he does his fucking thing, his major explosion. You know what I'm talking about. I forgot what it's called. My bad. Any other time I would have remembered, but now I forgot. But yeah, he does his little big explosion, as all the villains see the explosion that he does, as they think shit. As Izuku is fighting Toga, as Toga sees the explosion coming towards them at full throttle, as her eyes went wide, as she dodged out of the way. As Izuku looks at her dodge, as he looks back, and he sees the explosion coming right towards him. He already saw the explosion go towards other villains and exploding them, but him, he thinks, "Fuck you, Bakugo," as he gets exploded. As he tries to dodge, but he gets hit very hard by that explosion, as he gets pretty much friendly fired on by Bakugo, as he flies into some rubble, by a building and into some rubble, as he's on the ground pretty much freaking he's kind of mangled at the moment, and his left eye is gone because of the explosion. As yeah, as my bad, but yeah, as he is pretty much knocked out from that explosion, as Toga is surprised and in horror at what she saw. As she saw Bakugo smirk of what he did after he saw Izuku get taken down by his quirk. As this actually surprised Toga and angered her. As she sees that that Bakugo is taking down all the villains in this area. As she sees another hero in training coming to help Bakugo. As she thinks, shit. As she looks at Izuku, as she thinks, I'm going to take him with me. Fuck it. As my bad, I keep going to that picture, but yeah, my bad. As she picks Izuku up, as she is running after picking him up, as she is just ducking it out of that area, as she runs to the area where Shigaraki is at, as we see Eraserhead pretty much mangled. Not really mangled, but pretty beaten up like he would be in canon. As Toga says, no, Toga doesn't say anything. As Shigaraki is laughing as he says, "You are really cool, Eraserhead. You really are." As All Might comes and bursts in through the doors. As he doesn't have a smile on his face one bit. As Toga hid from him. Once she saw All Might bang the doors, she hid into a building. Not really a building, but yeah, she hid close to the fight. As she still has Izuku. A very injured Izuku, I might say, as she looks at Izuku as she's starting to patch him up with his own cloth and hero costume. As she tears the fibers to patch him up. As she sees his left eye, as she feels so sorry for this boy, that he really got betrayed by one of his heroes in training. As she thinks, I don't know how to feel about this. She says that, but she knows how she feels about this. She thinks she found a new recruit, though he would need some persuasion at first. As not bad, but yeah, as All Might fights the Nomu, as of course after a battle of All Might almost losing, and the kids pretty much saving him without Izuku there helping, All Might eventually wins. As once he wins, Toga picks Izuku up as she sees the portal, as she sees Kirigiri, as she runs up to him, as she says, "Portal us out of here." All Might just won, as Kirigiri said, "Yes, ma'am." As by now, how should I say? Dobby came running in, as by now, the heroes came in, as they started, Snipe started shooting, Shigaraki, as Dobby picked him up, as they all ran into the, portal. Well, Dobby drags, Shigaraki as Shigaraki's in pain. As once they enter the portal, Toga drops on her knees as she drops Izuku kind of lightly on the floor. As they are all huffing and puffing. As the doctor comes in running up to them as he says, what happened? As Kaguri says, get Master Shigaraki out of here and treat him. As the doctor sees Shigaraki, as he just nods as he says, yes, no problem. As he picks him up and he drags him to the operating room pretty much. As Toga says, can you treat him as well? As they all look at the boy. As she says, I brought him here because he would be a great ally to us. As she says, huffing and puffing. As she smiles widely as well. As she said, he got betrayed. But I think he would need some persuasion for us after we took care of him. Or patched him up. As Darby says, he got betrayed. Okay, that would be a great asset to us. When did he get betrayed? As she says, right in the USJ, he got betrayed by his own, how should I say, friend? I don't know. I don't know much about him. But he would be a great asset to us. As they ask why, as she says, he made it to the hero course. As they say, yes, so did the other kids, as he said, that he is quirkless. As they were all shocked. This kid made it to the hero course, even though he was quirkless. As they think, yes, he would be a great asset to them. He would be a great one indeed. As they pick Izuku up and bring him to the room as well. As after the doctor took care of Shigaraki and patched him up, he went to work on Izuku. Izuku had more work he had to do with Izuku. As he had to tell Master about what the kids brought. They brought someone new that would be a good asset to them. As this intrigued All For One, as he said, really? Who is this kid? As the doctor says, from what Toga says, his name is Izuku Midoriya. As this intrigued All For One, and he searched up the name Izuku Midoriya, and he got a lot of info off of Izuku. As he's reading up on Izuku, and he's reading real well. Reading up his life story pretty much. As he smirks, as he says, yes, he would be a great one indeed. As he smiles evilly. As we skip a time skip. As by now it has been a few days after the USJ attack, and all the people in Class 1A is wondering where Izuku went. As Bakugo said he got taken by the villains, trying to hide up the fact that he betrayed Izuku. But Izuku did get taken by the villains, though. He did. But he didn't know this, but he just said he got taken by the villains. As everyone was shocked. Even Aizawa was shocked whenever Bakugo said that Izuku got taken by the villains. So they went to do a search party after they did a search party straight away, pretty much, searching for where the League of Villains bases. As they start searching everywhere. As after searching, and Aizawa being out of the hospital now, as he's doing his own search for Izuku. As by now, Izuku is fine. As Izuku has a light, not really light, a big because of the extent of his injuries, All For One had to give Izuku a very good healing quirk that would heal his body in no time. So he had a very big healing factor. Think of a healing factor like Tokyo Ghoul, Kanaki's healing factor. So think on that. But Izuku's is not at that extent yet. It's kind of weak at the moment. And kind of slow. As by now, he has been through couple surgeries to help him and heal him. He even had to they even had to implant an eye into his left eye, and yeah, because his eye was gone. So yeah. So he has an eye patch going on right now, as they stitched his eyelids. So yeah. How should I continue this? How much time has passed? 1:38. Okay. It's 12 right now. I need to go to sleep soon. But yeah, as you see Izuku wake up in a basement, pretty much, on a bed. As he wakes up, as he is kind of bandaged up, as he sits up from the bed, as he sees Toga sitting across from him, as she says, "You're finally up, huh, Izu?" As Izuku is confused at the moment, as he says, "Where am I? Weren't I just fighting you?" As he thinks back on this, and his one eye went wide, the one that wasn't covered, as he says that bastard. As she says, yes. Betrayed by your own friend. As by now, the lady knows that, him and Kosuke has been friends since childhood, so, yeah. Which makes it even worse, so, yeah. As she says, it is very sad that you got betrayed by your own childhood friend. As he says, he hasn't been a friend of mine for quite a while. As she says, oh, is that so? You have been gone for quite a few days, and the heroes have not found you. Or they searched for you, but they have not found you. As Izuku says, they'll find me, I'm pretty sure. They are heroes after all. As she says, no, they won't. As she says, you have been let down so many times throughout your life, Izu. Why do you still want to be a hero? As Izuku says, to save people that don't deserve getting hurt. Innocent people. How should I say? The civilians. As Izuku is, how should I say? Saying, so Toga, we have known each other for a little bit of time. Are you seriously going to do something to me, Toga? I know you're a villain, but yeah. As she says, I have to. If you agreed to how should I say, join us, I will have no problem not hurting you. As long as you join us, Izu. As Izuku just looks at her, tilts his head. As he says, tempting. Your thought process right now, I'm pretty sure, is, I did get betrayed. As she nods. As he says, yes, I did get betrayed by Kosuke. Or Bakugo. Honestly, don't fucking care. He has done this to me so many times throughout my life, bullying me. It's not new to me that he would do this to me. But the rest of my class, that I care about. They are not the ones that betrayed me. He did. So, yeah. If the whole class betrayed me, that would be a different outcome. He said. As she says, oh, is that so? Okay, Izu. Well, I got a mirror for you in case if you need to look at yourself. But after you get healed up, you will change your mind after a while, Izu. We will have you change your mind. As Izuku says, I doubt it. As she smiles, as she walks away, as she walks into another room, as Shigaraki says in his Shigaraki voice, so, did he bite the bait? Did he will he join us? As she says, no, not yet. He needs some persuasion. she says, as she smirks, as Shigaraki smirks as well, as he says, I'll leave the torturing to you, dear, as I can tell you're very close to him, so I'll let you do it. As she says, I will not let you touch a finger on Izu, only me. She says, as he just nodded as he says, well, okay, princess, he says sarcastically, or he would mostly say blood freak, as she does her whole Toga thing. As she says, "Oh, Shiggy, don't be so mean." As Shigaraki says, "Don't call me Shiggy." As yeah. As time passes, and Toga has started to torture Izuku after he healed himself, and he sees his new eye per se. His eye is different from his eye is different. His left eye is different from his right. As he sees the stitches all over his body and the patches that he got healed from. As he still has wrappings around his body. As he patched his eye. As he sees that his eye is a different color. As he kind of chuckled a little bit after looking at the mirror. As he kind of as he coughed a little bit, still hurt. As he kind of went insane by looking in the mirror. As he sees that his left eye is red, while his right eye is his normal color, green. As he is pretty much in rags right now. He's in what you would call a hospital gown right now. As after him getting healed and all that, Toga started to torture him. As she put him in a chair next to his bed. As she put him into a chair that's next to the cage where he would usually sleep and just rest at. As this is another area. As she tortured him. As she placed key words while torturing him. As during her torturing, Izuku was getting used to torture. But after getting used to torture, she would do something different. Always something different. As she started to fall in love with Izuku. And not just in love with his blood, but she is in love with Izuku. As she started to fall in love with Izuku, getting to know him on a personal level, while her torturing him and getting to know him during him resting after the torture. As the how would I say, shows him her good side, as sometimes here and there she would show him her generous side and her loving side, pretty much, as she doesn't hide the fact that she loves him a lot, and she's doing this for him, which twist in a twisted way. She wants to help Izuku. She wants to help him a lot and take revenge on that Katsuki Bakugo kid and help him see her side of the world, or the view on the world. As slowly but surely she is having Izuku see her side of her view of the world, saying that heroes are minutes of society. They chain you up. They tell you how to act. They put people like us down. People of the forgotten. People of the damned. The lost. They forget us. They put us down. They torture us. This society is twisted, creating us. This society created us like this. As she says, as during these days of being tortured, these days turn to weeks, and these weeks turn to months, as during these months Izuku has started to see her point of view of the world, and he is slowly but surely agreeing to what she says, as she is slowly brainwashing Izuku in a way, with certain phrases and words, as certain words would help him, per se, getting him into his how would I say, villain side? Nah. As she's starting to brainwash Izuku in the torture. As during these months, the heroes have tried endlessly to find Izuku, but ended up stopping and written him off as dead. As after that, a few weeks after that, Toga has told him, the heroes stopped looking for you. They have written you off as dead. They don't care, Izuku. Stop trying to fight and help us with this endeavor to fight the heroes, the society. They didn't really search for you that long, did they, Izuku? As this really broke Izuku, as he started to chuckle, as you see him just looking down and in a chair, bloodied, as her torturing him all these how would I say, days, these months, these months, his healing factor has started to get very good, as once she cuts into him, he starts to heal. So she started to find different ways to hurt him than just cutting him endlessly. As she started to, how would I say, cut his feet off while reattaching it, and that healing, And yeah, as Izuku's hands and feet have been, how would I say, being cut off and reattached so many times, as his fingernails on his feet and hands are black right now. They are pure black. As after hearing that the hero stopped looking for him, he broke. His mentality, his mental state broke. And he accepted that this society is twisted and the heroes need to be stopped. If they would just let him be tortured like this, then yeah. As he chuckles, as he starts to slowly raise his head to Toga, as he starts raising in his head, his chuckling began to get louder and louder. As before you know it, he started to laugh psychotically. As he was psychotically laughing while looking at Toga. As yeah, she smiled at this. As she put her hands around Izuku's neck, as she hugged him, as she says, "This was for your own good, Izu. This was for your own good. As I did this all for you, to show you what needed to be done, and how this world really works." As Izuku thinks, yeah, she did. She did this all for me. As he started to get, how would I say, that torture Stockholm syndrome, where you start to fall in love with your captor, pretty much. As this is the start of that. As he started to develop this right now. As yeah. As he smiles psychotically while looking at Toga. As she smiles psychotically as well, as he lets him go. As she thinks the brainwash was a success. Once he accepted the fact and his mental state broke, the brainwashing was complete. She thinks, as she is right, he is fully brainwashed, but at the same time not. So yeah. As my bad. But yeah. As you would see, Izuku get up from the chair. As he looks at Toga, as he hugs her. He hugs her as he says, "Yes, I understand, Toga, that you did this all for me. I understand this." As he says a little weakly, as he is still kind of hurting from the torture that she did today. Yeah, as I'm going to say a year passed, and Izuku is fully a villain, as he has done some villainous things. He proved himself to the League as he killed a few heroes um, while using his knives. And he used the techniques that he used while trying to be a hero on heroes. As he even used the wrappings, as he kept that on his hands. As he always wrapped his hands and arms with the wrappings. But instead of his hero costume, he would put on a suit. He would always have this suit and vest on. Suit and vest, pretty much. As this would be what he would normally wear. A black pants, black smart shoes, a white button-up shirt, a black vest, and a tie. As he once he started wearing the suit, he made some adjustments so it won't be torn or destroyed that easily. As he made his outfit the same unbreakable material he did from his wrappings, but he colored it differently. As yeah, his whole suit is made out of that material instead of his shoes. His shoes is not. So yeah, as he is very, very happy right now with his life with the League. As he gets some missions to kill some heroes here and there, as he is just thinking of ways to kill Kachan throughout this year. As by now, Bakugo in Class 1A is his second years in high school, or at least in UA. They are second years. As after the USJ attack, the League of Villains haven't done anything too major, as they have not attacked UA again. They went back to their bases doing criminal activities. As you see the League of Villains rob a bank here and there, kill some people, kill heroes, kidnap some people, pretty much trade them for for human trafficking, all that type of stuff. As yeah, that's the stuff that you would see them do. But now, let's get into Class 1A. Class 1A, or in this case 2A, because they're second years. Class 2A is, how should I say? Yeah, doing the whole thing. How do I say? The thing with the hero agencies. Yeah. Instead of them doing that in their first years, they do that in their second year. They did that in their first year, but they're doing it in their second year as well to get a better grasp on being a hero. As after the League of Villains and the pretty much, how would I say, the disappearance of Deku or Izuku, Class 1A and the attacks on UA have been very quiet. The events have been decently quiet. As they are just planning their next attack. And that is on the normal attack on how would I say, Hoshu City. They're doing that villain the normal attack. They want to test the Nomus, the new versions of the Nomus on Hoshu. So yeah, as you see Izuku with Toga, as by now Izuku and Toga are dating. Izuku confessed his love for Toga, as he is very how would I say, psychotic. They have a very psychotic relationship, as they go out on killings. They make out with each other all day long. They're pretty much next to each other all the time. As they are the love, they are the couple of the group, pretty much. They're the couple of the League of Villains. As Izuku started getting how would I say, because of Toga's how would I say insanity for blood or love over blood, because of the torture, Izuku has started to develop that love for blood as well. So yeah. So him and Toga, their killings are very similar. Always killing someone with a knife. But Izuku always grabbing and freaking holding on to the person with his wrappings, so they can fight back. As he looks at them like this picture right here. He looks just like this picture at the moment. Well, killing some people with Toga, as they have been killing a few people. As he's laughing. He is laughing psychotically while killing them. As he's grabbing the last person, as they're killing all these people in the alleyway. As there is some blood on the wall. As you see this picture right here. As Izuku just holding on to this person in the air. As you know, the wrappings. The wrapping is holding this person pretty much against the wall. As he's struggling with the wrappings, as he's begging Izuku to not kill him. As Izuku is pretty much twirling his blade or knife per se. As he's just twirling it, pretty much doing tricks with his knife. As he stabs the dude in the shoulder, pretty much pinning him to the wall. As the dude screams out in pain. As Izuku says, just calm down. It's okay. It's okay. As he lets go of the knife. Not really lets go, but he brings out the knife out of the person's body. As Izuku sees the blood, as he smiles, as he says, "Ooh, wonder if your blood's good." As he licks the blood, as he says, "Yes, that is pretty sweet." He smirks evilly as he started to repeatedly stab this person in the gut multiple times, as this person is screaming out in complete agony, as Izuku slashes sideways for the last stroke, as this person's guts just fell out of his body. As Izuku lets go of the body, or the guy's arms, with his wrappings, as the wrappings go back to his arms, completely soaked with blood. As he says, "It's always a nice sight to see me covered with blood. I absolutely love that feeling. Never gets old," he says. As Izuku is skipping out of the how would I say, alleyway, as he's whistling and skipping, as he's in a happy mood, as he holsters his knife in his vest, as he's whistling, as he walks out. He is skipping back to the League of Villains base so he can see what their next plan is of action to destroy the heroes. And yeah, that is my first ever movie, guys and gals. So yeah, and I gotta say, Izuku has his left eye with a scar on his left eye, and his left eye is red because he had to get a new one. So yeah, Izuku has a scar on his right eye, as he has scars, quite a few scars over his body because of the explosion and or the bullying of Bakugo. So yeah. So yeah. As this is gonna be the first movie of Twisted Love. This is a Toga X Deku. I hope you liked it. My very first movie. And yeah. After this, I am going to make the next video of what if Deku was Neo. And I will probably bring that out whenever I have a chance or a day off at work. So yeah, I have to go back tonight, and I gotta go sleep soon so I can go to work. So I just needed to make another video for y'all. So yeah, and yeah, I hope you like it. I hope you all have a good day or night, my monster family, and peace out. And I hope this is gonna be the first movie of this. Yeah, this is gonna be a 3-part series, I'm pretty sure. But for now, I'm gonna see what y'all think of this movie. So yeah, thank you for watching, and peace out, my lovely audience, my monster family.